Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Have you guys ever wondered how to do a helicoil? Well, they're not as scary as it sounds, even though you got to drill into stuff like you're an oil rig guy, drilling into the depths of the earth. All these are LS cylinder heads, so don't be alarmed. I'm gonna show you how to do it pretty properly, I think. So I like to be a little cautious about it. You do not want to spill parts, shavings. You do not want to spill shavings in the long block because that is going to be a bad time for everyone. So anyways, the video is going to kind of be long and boring, I'm sure. But I'm going to do this with a lot of confidence. And if I can do it, I'm no better than you. You can do it as well. Check it out. So we had a little mishap, and I stripped out a rocker bolt hole, measuring push rod length, 20 foot-pounds of torque. I'm assuming that there was one weak spot on these heads being the castings from overseas. There's probably not a lot of quality control from the China parts. So we're going to show you how to do a helicoil. So as you've seen there, for these rocker stands, they're, what are they? The helicoil size, like M8 by 125, and you use a 21/64 drill size. So basically you drill the stud out, the stud pocket, however you want to call it, and then you take your helicoil tap, and then you run the tap in, and you have to be very stable with your hands. You don't want to tap this off course. And basically what you're going to do this whole direction is just re-tap the holes so that you can insert the helicoil, which actually works really good, by the way. 2 years ago when I had the Camaro, I still had a ringed input shaft in the Camaro, and I didn't have a rev limiter on the car because I didn't want it to hold me back, you know. So a broken input shaft with the ringed Power Glide input shaft, and when I did it, it floated the valves and did like 10,600 RPM or something before it just laid over. And I pulled like 4 or 5 of the rocker out of the head, out of the TFS 245s I had on the Camaro. So that was my first learning experience with that. So I went to a better ringless input shaft and Glide after that, and never had a problem since. A lot of guys will do these helicoils in their cylinder heads when they have a rowdy setup. It's probably a good idea if you're really going to get crazy with stuff anyways. I really wish I'd have checked these before I put them in the truck and torque them down and all that stuff, but you know, that is life. Next set, if I ever do another set of these Frankenstein monsters, since they are China casting, I will definitely do all 16 helicoils when they're on a bench, because this sucks. Now you got to worry about getting pieces and particles in your engine. So we're going to take the careful route really quick with Andrew on the vacuum and some rags, and throw some helicoils in all the ones that we can reach for now and hope for the best. So keep on and check around. Good eye. back to the helicoil. Helicoils, M8 by 125s. These are a pretty easy, cool fix. I believe these are stainless steel. Something similar, they're very strong, whatever they are. So these also come with an insert thread pitch steel. So what these do is they have a tang on the bottom of them. And you'll thread your tool that comes with the kit, generally speaking, or buy separate, whichever. And you'll thread it on here. I'll show you, come over closer. So there's a small tang on these, and it allows this tool to kind of catch it and spin, right? So we'll insert this into the threads and get it a little bit below the surface, and then we'll remove the tool, and then we'll smack it down and break that tang off. Make sure you get it out of there, and then that way, now you have this nice steel threaded insert inside of an aluminum block, and it's gonna hang on and hold really well. What are the people that whistle while you work?
I can't whistle.
No, I mean like what are the elves or the gnomes or what are they?
I have elves.
Elves? Whistle while you work. Something like that. It's weird I got the radio off so we don't mess up any monetization stuff, and I really struggle with no music. It's really hard for me because my life is prone to just, I think I was born to listen to music. My mom used to be quite the rock and roller, you know, so she always like toured with Poison and Bon Jovi, which, yeah, whatever. But anyways, she, no, she didn't, that was just lying. She was just a big fan. And so she had concert shirts for days. And I would always wear them to school, and then my friends' parents would be like, wow, this kid's crazy. He's in 4th grade and he's got a Metallica t-shirt on.
You can't hang out with him.
Can't hang out with bad kid. And I was always just like, whatever, man. Whatever. You guys are grouches. Tangs off. Bing. So, now. Off to the side. So, grab that vacuum. Make sure you get the tang or whatever. I like to call it tang because I always like tang, orange drink. So I made a little post on Facebook, and I didn't intend to anger the guys at Frankenstein. It wasn't a means to diss their heads. Obviously this wasn't their fault because they source the casting and they do their own machine work in CNC. But they got a little upset with me that I was using rocker bolts, so they told me that I should not use rocker bolts and I should use the ARP studs. And they offered to send me a set for my troubles, and I was like, well, if you want to, cool. If not, I mean, I have some. So these are going to be slightly longer, but as per recommendations for everyone else, the threads are actually not slightly longer. It just has a nipple at the bottom that bottoms out in the head. So, I mean, the nice part of a stud is a stud does not pull on the threads out of the block. Once the stud is inserted, just like head studs, the head stud then hangs on and grips and grabs. So now as you torque things, it's pulling on the bolt, even load across the studs, or, you know, along the threads in the block and the heads, whichever one. So it is always good to use a stud. So not that it's needed. Maybe if you have some crazy spring pressure. I know these are like a pack 1207 or whatever. So these are a pretty sturdy stud. So it's not absolutely required, but it doesn't hurt. So we will use the studs as per recommended. And maybe that will ensure this won't happen again. Because I'll be sad if I'm somewhere doing donuts out of town, take my girlfriend out for dinner a couple hours away because I like to do weird stuff every once in a while and just go for a ride. And then we go somewhere and then I rip a rocker out of the head. I'll have a bad day. A really, really bad day actually. So anyways, that's how you do a thread cert, you know, helicoil and whatnot. And I figured I would just get a video going for that. I'm sure some of you guys were like, I don't want to drill holes in the head. It's really a big pain in the butt in the vehicle, especially because metal shavings. You absolutely don't want any metal shavings in the engine, obviously, because you can end up in the oil pan, hopefully the filter catches it, but you don't want them there in the first place. So take as much extra caution as you can to catch this stuff. Like I said, I'll use this 3M Moly Lube stuff, and this stuff is super tacky, and as you can see, like I just smeared some around the head, and it'll grab those little aluminum chunks and that way they can't fall. Very helpful piece though. So anyways, thanks again for subscribing. Hopefully this helps you guys. Have a fantastic day.